Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you are having a good weekend so far. I hope that you're staying healthy and you're optimistic, happy in life. Welcome Fuong. Hi Catherine. Hi Azamat. Great to see many of our subscribers joining in, and nice to see our members coming back. Hi Maria, hi Sarah, Chayani, Domenico. It's great to have you all with me here today for this IELTS listening class. We will be focusing on school curriculum and dinosaurs, specifically the T-Rex. This will be part 3, part 4 of the listening section, practice and strategy lesson. Listening, usually the first part of the IELTS exam for the sitting section of the exam. Of course, the speaking is done separately. You have to focus, you have to use good strategies to get those high band scores. Students, this lesson, these materials are brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. We will use the websites today in just a few moments for the listening audio. These are the textbooks, the materials for these live classes. So as a subscriber, as a member, make sure to join our Premium IELTS package so you can get the most effective learning by clicking this big red button that's just right up there. It's a one-time payment. You get lifetime access. We are an IDP affiliate, British Council partner, IELTS Test Registration Center. I'm a certified British Council agent. So you're in great hands with us. We help thousands of students every day, and our courses do not cost a lot of money. Our focus is on helping you. General IELTS, gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button there. All right. Lovely. Students, if you have questions, you can send me an email. My email is adrian@aehelp.com. I'm always happy to get questions. If you're not sure about some part of the IELTS, you're curious about English grammar, or you want to know a little bit about studying in Canada, what you need to do, just send us an email and myself or one of my colleagues will help you out. We have this discount code for the websites if you're registering, 94ME for a 10% discount, and that's coming from our latest YouTube video release. All right. LOL says, you don't reply. That doesn't give me a lot of information, LOL. Let me know what you mean by that. We reply to all of our emails, so if we missed your email, it's not on purpose. You just need to send us another email, and then we'll go from there. I don't reply to all emails because we get a lot of them. So I'm doing the live classes, but we have a great team that that work together for all of this for you. Okay. All right. Apps, yes. Academic IELTS help. General IELTS help. Sarah, we shouldn't miss your emails, especially yours, because I was waiting for yours in regards to a couple of points. So just send me the email again, and I'll check it out, okay? So if you don't get a reply, don't be shy. Just send it again. But definitely give us a chance. Give us 24 to 48 hours, okay, to give you your answers. We get lots of inquiries. Okay. Kalbir says, I got an app subscription and I'm loving it. All right, Kalbir, that's good news. Kalbir, you can link your app to the website too. So if when you're in the app and you click more, it'll say link to the website, so you can unlock the website as well. Okay, so your app will unlock the full website. All right, students, but it is a listening class, and some of you are like, wow, emails, apps, let's just listen. We'll do that. We've got speaking tomorrow, don't forget about that, and we've got listening right now, and we've got a task 2 on Discord on Sunday. Discord is awesome too. So check out Discord. All right. Great. So let's get into listening. Sarah, I'll do a check. You should have a reply. Send it again. Okay. Emails are funny sometimes. They can go in different places. So send it again. All right. Okay. So listening strategies. We started with listening part 1 and 2 last week. And the first strategy I told you was to look at the topics of the listening section. So we did that. And we saw that listening section 3 is about a student that goes to see their professor to find out information. And then we saw that part 4 will be about dinosaurs, specifically about the T-Rex or Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay. So get ready for that. Visualize that. That's what we have as part of the thumbnail picture for this class, the T-Rex. So in listening, you have to see the story. You have to be the story. Okay. So listening strategies. Tip 1, see the story, be the story. So for example, here in part 3, as we're listening to this, you are the student that goes to see the professor. And in part 4, you are the Tyrannosaurus Rex that eats people. No. But you can be the Tyrannosaurus Rex that lived with the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. How do you spell that? Dinosaurs. There you go. Dinosaurs. All right. Good. Visualize it. Picture it. While you have time to read the questions, paraphrase them in your head. Okay, so in the listening, they always give you some time to review questions. So they'll say, okay, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. And then they give you about 20 seconds to do that. So here, question 21, multiple choice. Why does the student go to see the professor? The student visits the teacher because, right? So it's like a quick paraphrase. It's just another way to say that sentence. So this is the same as that, right? So you paraphrase, okay? And you do that for as many of the questions as possible. We're going to talk strategy. We're going to look at the answers after we do the listening, everyone. So get your ears on. And let's listen and answer questions. And then I'll give you tips, Jose, for the fill in the blanks and other question types as well. But for now, let's go to the website. And again, you can get the premium course by clicking that red button. Let's get to the My Student account. Sarah, also, I just going back to your question about emails, sometimes it does take us 48 hours. So we usually do 24 hours, but sometimes it's 48. So give us time. All right. So here we go. We're in the student account. You've got your computer-based practice exams, your academic course, and your audio CDs down here. Okay, so this is test 2, track 3. We're going to listen. Students, do not put your answers in the chat, okay? So no answers in the chat now. We will do this later, So we want to give everybody an equal chance to answer. Okay, so just put it on a piece of paper or in another document on your computer. Here we go, everyone. Let's listen and answer.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear a student and her professor talking about their class. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Come in, Laura.
Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term.
Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't even have a syllabus, so maybe you could give me one and then we could go over it in some detail.
Yes, that would be sensible. Let me grab your syllabus. Here you go. As you see, the class meets each Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in room A313 of the Juliet building. Do you know where that is?
Yes, the Juliet building is right next to the Student Union building, correct?
Yes, that's right. OK, so next are my office hours. I hold them each Monday and Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. If these do not work for you, feel free to send me an email and we can make arrangements to meet at another time. Now, let's discuss the books you'll need. As you see on the syllabus, there are 2 books you'll need for this course. You need not purchase either of them, however, as there are several copies of each available in the library.
I like keeping my books for future reference, so I would prefer to buy both books. Are they available in the bookshop?
The first one is, but the second one must be purchased from Buster's Books. Do you know where Buster's Books is located?
Roughly, but do you have an address?
Yes. The address is 3419 Young Street in Brighton.
Right, I know where that is. Do you know how much the books cost, approximately?
I think the one at the university bookshop is about £20 and the one at Buster's is about £15. So that's a total of £35 for the 2 of them.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Great. Can we talk a little about the coursework required?
Of course. There are 2 essays, 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam.
Wow, that's a lot of coursework.
Yes, but at this level I don't believe in just having 1 essay or 1 final exam determine your entire mark in a class. I like arranging it so that a student can have a chance to reflect on their ability and understanding of materials throughout the term.
That makes sense. So what are the percentages associated with each assignment and exam?
The first essay is worth 15%, the second is worth 25%, the midterm exam is worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 40%. Would you like to talk about the first essay? It is due next Friday.
Yes, could we?
Of course. The essay should be approximately 1,500 words and the topic must be chosen from the list.
And can I get a copy of the list?
There is one attached to your syllabus.
Right. So do we have to tell you what topic we are writing on beforehand?
No, it's all right. You only have to notify me if you want to do a topic that is not on the list.
Right. Is the essay due in class or can we submit it by email?
I will accept essays without penalty until midnight after the class it's due. So yes, you can submit it by email, hand it in during class or submit it to the department office. If you submit it to the office, make sure to get a timestamp put on it so that I can be sure the paper was submitted on time. And also, be sure to make...
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Use that half minute to check your answers, check for spelling, check for mistakes with instructions, potentially. And now, let's go through the answers together. So, I was giving you a bit of help here because I was showing you, where the audio is according to what is being said or what is happening. When you're practicing at home, this is a good idea. It's a good idea to highlight the parts as you listen where you feel the audio is. And that way you kind of train your brain to follow with the audio. But definitely don't do that during the real exam. I said this, I think, last week as well. Okay? So this is just a reminder. This is a tip. And it's a really interesting one. And it's an important one. Tip 3. Highlight words that help you to position yourself in the audio during practice at home. This will train your brain to follow accurately with the information. But do not do this. Do not highlight, circle, or underline information during the real exam, as this is distracting. Pay attention to the answers only. Okay, so at home you train your brain because, hey, if you miss an answer, whatever, right, you can listen again. It's not a big deal. But in the real exam, if you're paying attention to circling and highlighting, then you're going to miss the answers. And guess what? That's really bad because the instructions say that you will hear the audio only once. You need to answer while you're listening. So if you're circling while you're listening, then you're not answering while you're listening. Okay? Everybody get that, right? Okay, again, a thumbs up, please, because if I can just save 1 or 2 students from making this mistake, my day is good. Okay? All right. Clear. Harriet says yes. Chayani says yes. Fong says okay. All right. So no circling or underlining in the real exam, but it's good practice before the real exam. Okay. All right. Let's answer some questions. So number 21, why does the student go to see the professor? She says something. Okay, she has been in the hospital, A, or B, she has been ill, or C, she registered late. Harriet Banda says B. Domenico agrees. Omina says ill. Omina, that's good, but you have to give the letter, not the word, especially in the paper-based exam. Be really careful. Patek says B. Domenico says B. Everybody says B. B is correct. In the computer-based exam, it's less likely to make mistakes because you just click on the right answer. In the paper-based exam, though, you actually have to put your answer in the answer sheet, so be careful not to make mistakes when you're actually putting the answer in the answer sheet, okay? Be really careful. Okay, so fill out the details. Notice how I highlighted the word syllabus. It's because obviously I was waiting for this. They're talking about the syllabus, and the student says, can we talk about the syllabus? The syllabus, it's basically the instructions for your course. If you have done university in the US or Canada or the UK or Australia, you have learned that the first day of a university class starts by going over the syllabus. Anybody experience that? I guess in lots of other countries, it's probably the same system as well. So when you go into your first year math class or your first year engineering class, the professor gives you a syllabus. Of course, the syllabus is online these days as well. Some classes are going paperless now, so you only see it online. And then basically the professor goes through step by step and says, okay, these are the class times, location, office hours. So obviously, this is a typical situation that you will find yourself in if you're studying abroad, is listening to a syllabus or going over a syllabus, right? Tara says, same in my university. And somebody says, yes, the same in Greece. Rocky says, I reckon pretty much majority of the countries follow the same structure. Yeah, I agree. Makes sense, right? Let people know what's happening. Okay, so for this student, so if you're like, well, why do I need to know this? Well, because you use it, right? In real life. So class times, something in Thursday, 10 to 11:30. Gulai, Sup says it's Monday and Thursday. Yeah, and you can just do Mon. It's the easiest answer. Monday and Thursday, 10 to 11:30. I always recommend using abbreviations whenever possible. Why do I say that? Why do you think I say that? Make sure the M is big, okay? And yes, you can use all capital letters in the listening and reading for answers. So here's another tip. Use abbreviations whenever possible. So tip number 4, use abbreviations whenever possible. So MON instead of Monday. Why do I say that? Why use abbreviations? I'm using the French keyboard suddenly. Why use abbreviations? Harry Jotted says saves time. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, reduces typos, exactly. Reduces the chance of mistakes, especially in the listening section. It's important, not only because it saves time, not only because it reduces the chance of mistakes, but if you're doing the paper-based exam, it also lets you focus more on the audio, right? So instead of worrying about writing out the whole word incorrectly, especially when you get into months like February, right? Then you're like, okay, month, and I'm still listening, right? So yeah, avoiding mistakes, saving time, focusing more on the audio. Those are all reasons that you should use abbreviations. So know your abbreviations and know your capitals. And yes, you can use all capital letters in listening and reading, but not in writing. Somebody sent us an essay to check with all capital letters, and we had to send it back. That's what will happen in your IELTS too. They'll mark you very low, but not in writing. Okay? Don't write all capital letters. They want to see correct capitalization. Okay? All right. Doing great. Let's answer some more questions. So location. Where is this building? Where's their class? Yep, Sarah says, I do remember I had in part 4 and listening a long word as the first answer. I was spelling it and suddenly knew the part ended. Ooh. Yeah, Sarah, careful. It's just, you want to, in that case too, you just want to write it down. Don't worry about spelling. And then when you transfer your answer, the answer sheet, then check your spelling. So don't worry about spelling. That's a good point, Sarah. Let me tell everybody about this. So don't worry about spelling while you listen. in the paper-based exam. Or in the computer-based you have to worry a little bit more because you don't have as much time to transfer, but you do have a little bit of time. So if you have a long word, even in the computer-based exam, and you're like, I'm not sure if that's correct, don't start tripping out about it, okay? Just remember it in your head, go, okay, that one I got to check, and then come back later. So do not worry about spelling while you listen in the paper or in the computer based exam. You have time after to check and correct, okay? Because you don't want it happen what happened to you, Sarah, where you're like, oh, did that part just end? Okay. All right, so I see that Alex Amina Fuang, I'll say that the answer is Juliet Building, and it is the Juliet Building. So you can spell it like this, Juliet, or you can use the French spelling. Okay, both are okay. It's originally a French name, Latin name originally, but both Juliet and Juliet. So both spellings are correct. Again, capitalization, big J, very important. Okay. All right. So Juliet, don't put both, okay? Definitely don't do like, oh, I'm going to be super fancy and impress them by putting both English and French spelling of Juliet. No, okay? It's maybe for some of you francophones out there. Sarah, no putting both versions, just one, okay? And then number 24, Monday and Wednesday, 2:30 to 4. Numbers are really easy to listen to in the audio, so those help you to position. Here, the professor clearly says this is at 2:30 to 4, but if that doesn't work, send me an email. Harry Judd, it's not his office house. Careful. Masala says it's the office hours. Yeah. And technically it doesn't have to be capital because it's a common noun, but it's okay if you write office hours like this. Okay, just because you have the capital C, capital L there as well. And notice how class times is big C, little t. So you could write it like that. I'm pretty sure they'll just accept all versions here. Hyun Valador, welcome to our group of members. Thanks for joining. Send me an email so I can hook you up with your perks. So office hours for number 24. Yeah, absolutely. For all of you that got that, make sure you write hours. Okay. Chaeyoung Kip, you do not use a correction pen. So there's no correction pens or tapes. Usually they do not allow that. But you can do a strike through and then correct. Okay, Chayani, so if you made a mistake, what you can do is you can go reap like that and then go office. Okay. But again, don't worry about mistakes, Chani, because you have a chance to transfer your answers in the answer sheet. In the computer-based exam, you just do delete, right? Backspace. Okay, so no spell check, no grammar check in the computer-based, but you do have copy-paste function. Okay. No search function. That's another one students ask. Do I have control F for searching? Control find? No. No control find. Okay. Required books for the class. Book 1 available at the bookshop. And they talk a lot about this, so be patient. Patience is very important in part 3 and part 4. Sometimes they give you the answers a little bit later. Book 1 is available at the bookshop. And how much does it cost? I don't really remember, so I hope you guys can help me out here. I don't have the answer sheet in front of me. So how much is it? Rocky says 20 pounds. I'll take the most popular answer. I seem to remember... I remember can't remember if it was the professor or the student, but one of them said 35 pounds total. So even if you missed this answer, but you got the 15 pounds here, and then you got, 35 minus 15 equals 20. If you're quick, if you're being smart, you usually have more than one chance to get the correct answer, okay? Keep that in mind, everybody. All right? So when you pay careful attention, and this is the next tip, tip number 6. We're already on tip number 6. Schmoly. All right, tip 6. A lot of answers, especially in part 1, 2, and 3. Part 4, not so much, but in parts 1, 2, and 3 of the listening, many answers are given 2 or more times. So, if you are patient and careful, you can get assurance that you have the right answer. And if you miss the answer, stay calm, because you might just get a second chance. Also, logic will still often help you figure out the right answer. And you're going to see an example of that very, very, very soon. Okay? Let's continue. So, so cost 20 pounds. By the way, students, don't put the word pound. When you have the symbol, so notice how here you have the symbol for pounds, you cannot write the word pound. IELTS will mark that wrong. I know it's harsh. But if you put the word pounds, first of all, you're wasting time, because it's like saying pounds, 20 pounds. We never do that. So IELTS is also checking to see how much you're paying attention. If you have it, don't put it in. If you don't see it, put it in, but use the symbol. Okay? Got it? That's an important one. All right? So don't add the words or symbols if they are included in the question. Is that tip number 7? I think so. Tip 7. Do not add symbols, and it's a waste of time too, right? Symbols or words for symbols, especially when it is given in the question. Okay? They don't need it. It's there. They know it. Okay? If it's not, then you have to. Then you must add it. So pay attention. Okay? I can see a lot of people saying, got it. Good. Azamat. Chayani. Mamoon. Alex. Good. All right. Back to point. Book 2. Where can we get book 2 from? Where do we get book 2? Number 26. Where do we get book 2 from? Book 2. Subscribers! Where do we get book 2 from? They say this answer about 2 or 3 times at least, so you just listen carefully. It's a name, and it's not a tricky name, so you should be able to figure it out, especially because bust is a word in English as well, or buster is a word in English as well. So if you're like, well, I don't know how to spell names, well, it's also a word. You can look up buster in the dictionary and you will find a definition. Busters, absolutely, Busters books, yeah. You only need this word. Now, if you don't do a possessive, so if you just do it without the apostrophe and you just write busters as a plural, that's okay too. All right, I don't think they need you to know that it's possessive, because it could be a plural. It could be like Busters books. Okay, but Buster is not enough. Harriet Bunda, if you just put Buster, it's not. It has to be Busters. And Fwang, make sure you use the apostrophe and not the colon. Okay, students, don't use the colon. The quotation, not colon, quotation. Don't use the quotation. That would be wrong. Okay, so that would not be correct. It's the apostrophe. Okay, use the apostrophe. This is a side tip, but for all of you who are preparing for the IELTS exam, I very strongly recommend that you use an English-based QWERTY keyboard. Okay? You should be using an English-based keyboard, not because English is so awesome and such, but because most software and most information in the world on the internet is in English. So using an English keyboard is actually going to make your life more efficient, and then switch it to whatever other languages you use when you need to. But use your keyboard in English, okay? And I know that's a big ask. That's a hard one for a lot of people. Even for my wife, she doesn't use the English keyboard and it drives me crazy. So use the English keyboard. Okay, and yeah, and when I'm helping people and they're like searching in English or typing an English essay and they're using a different keyboard, I'm just like I'm literally ripping hairs. I'm like, where's the apostrophe? Where's the, like, how do you, like, this is so hard. So, and you know, if you're like, well, Adrian, I don't want to do that, right? Get two keyboards, get two wireless keyboards. Have one in your own language, have one in English, and just swap them. Okay, so use an English keyboard for your IELTS studies. And by the way, in your exam center, they have English QWERTY keyboards only. They even warn you about that during your application. So they will say you will have an English QWERTY keyboard. Make sure you're familiar with it. If you're searching for letters and if you're searching for symbols during your writing and during your answers, that's going to be a big issue. Okay, so use an English keyboard for your IELTS studies because your exam will be using an English QWERTY, yeah, all the top letters, right? QWERTY keyboard. Okay, if you must, buy two, have two. Keyboards aren't that expensive. You can buy keyboards for cheap. So if you must, have two. Buy and use the English one when you are typing in English. Okay. Masala says in India we use only the English keyboard. Yeah, it's not always true, right? So some people are use different ones. Yeah. Blackstar says English keyboard? What? Right? Yeah, different languages have different keyboards, different key setups, right? Like the Y or the Z might be switched and so on, right? So be really careful, okay? Yeah, English keyboard, absolutely. There is a difference, and sometimes a big difference. Okay, that was another very important tip, all right? Let's look at the coursework. First essay, 15%. Second essay, how many percent is the second essay? Midterm is 20%. And something here is 40%. Okay, well, 40 plus 20 is 60, plus 15 is 75. So logic tells me that it's 25, and I'm happy that none of you are writing percent wrong, because percent is given, right? So again, you have the symbol, so you only need to write 25. Okay, if you write percent or you add the symbol, it can get marked wrong, so be really careful. It's just 25. And here, if you miss it, it's logic, right? 15 plus 20 plus 40, 75, 100% minus 75% equals 25%. So if you miss an answer, don't freak out. Remember what I said, logic will often help you answer questions. You can usually take a darn good guess at some of these questions, okay? And even this last one, so you got a first essay, second essay, midterm exam, and for number 28, what do you have? What do you have? Yeah, final exam, 2 words. If you only put final, you'll get it wrong. Why? So just final would be wrong. If you put final or finals, wrong. You have to have final exam. Be really careful. Why? Chinese says final's confusing. Yeah, because it's like final what, right? Final project, final essay, final speech, final presentation. There's a lot of different finals that you could have in a class, right? So the IELTS exam says, well, it's not good enough. It doesn't answer the question. It's a final what, right? It's not clear. Just imagine if you're a student in this class and all the professor put there is final, then you would have 200 hands going up going, final what, professor? Right? And then the professor would be like, oh, sorry, final exam, right? So that's what the IELTS says is the logic why you need both words. Okay, pay attention. Careful, careful when it says two words. It must be two words at times. Okay, 29. How long should the first assignment be? Now, it doesn't say assignment. They say essay, so they paraphrase. How long should the first essay, first assignment, be approximately? 1,500 words. That is right. It's 1,500. So number 1,500 words. Again, you need words. Because if you don't put that, it could be 1,500 pages, 1,500 characters, 1,500 paragraphs. I don't know. Be a harsh literature class. 1,500 pages, you're writing a book, and a big one at that. So 1,500 words. Okay. That's the first assignment. It's the correct answer. Words has to be plural. If you write word, you're in trouble. Well, you'll get it wrong. Okay, question 30. It's called an inference type question. Make sure that you read and review this well before the audio starts, because you have to have a global understanding. That means a complete understanding. So the student's class ends at 11:30 a.m. on the day the paper is due. Decide whether the paper is handed in on time or late. Put the correct letter, A or B. A, late penalty. B, no late penalty. What's the situation? The paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day, dropped off at the department office with no timestamp received. Okay, well, if the class ended at 11:30, then this is obviously being handed in after the class that day. And it's got no timestamp, so we have no idea when it was handed in. The professor said that it's okay to hand a paper in until midnight, but it has to have a timestamp on it. So the answer is A, late penalty. There's no way for the professor to know that it wasn't handed in the morning the next day, because there's no timestamp. We don't know, right? Because it was handed in after the end of the class. So it comes in with all of the other papers, no timestamp. And the professor says, make sure to get a timestamp on it so that I know it was handed in before midnight. Correct answer is A. Late penalty. Logic, right? Careful. Really pay attention to negative words, students. So negative words, those should always catch your eye. Anytime you see a negative word like no timestamp, that should be like a siren going off, okay? So it should be like a red siren that's like wee, 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 spinning. No timestamp, no timestamp, no timestamp. Okay, so why no timestamp, right? Why is it no timestamp? So anytime you see a negative word, red flag, red flag. Okay? All right. Students, how did you do? What'd you get? How did you do out of 10 here? Okay, for part 3. So what'd you get? Part 3, part 4, your goal to get a nice high band score, you should be aiming for at least 6 or more. Okay. Domenico says 10 out of 10. Domenico, that is fantastic. Chen says red flag, red flag. Yeah, absolutely, Chen. Thank you for that. Everything Exotic says 8. Sarah, 9. Those are good. 8s and 9s are great to see. 7's pretty good. Harry Jot. Chayani, 7's not bad at all. Fuang, 5, on the lower end. Okay. Let's do part 4. We've all been waiting for this, right? The T-Rex. We all love a good T-Rex. Who doesn't love a T-Rex? Okay. Jurassic Park. Here we come. Let's put on our ears. Again, students, answers on a separate sheet, not in the chat. Give everybody a chance. Here we go. Back to our website. Again, lots of goodies for you on the website. Click those big red buttons to join the premium package. And now, get ready to listen.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a lecture about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good evening, class. If you are registered for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture films and books. In this class, we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex, as opposed to its Hollywood depiction. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time: a massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals, which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 65 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat-eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs, but it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Tyrannosaurus rex was a large dinosaur. Not nearly the largest, mind you, but still large by any standards of modern-day wildlife. The dinosaur's length was approximately 12 metres, its height could reach 6 metres, and it weighed anywhere between 5 and 7 tonnes. That weight is the equivalent of about 80 average-sized human beings. If humans had been around back then, we would have been the perfect size for an afternoon snack. The location of T-Rex fossils discovered is very interesting. They have been found in western North America, as far south as Texas and as far north as Alberta, and they have also been found in eastern Asia, mainly in Mongolia. How is this possible? How can fossils be found in such different regions of the world? The answer is what geologists call continental drift. The continents have not always been in the same location. They have shifted, and around the time of T-Rex, western North America and eastern Asia were connected. This explains perfectly the discovery of the fossils in the different locations. One of the more well-known interesting facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had extremely short arms. They measured only about 1 metre long, which is very short when you consider the size of the dinosaur. To put such small arms in perspective, It would be as if humans had arms that measured only 10 centimetres. What use would they be? Well, that is one of the questions that has led scientists to believe that T-Rex was a scavenger and not a predator. It is very difficult to believe that it could have been an effective predator, with arms being so important for hunting. Another fact that leads scientists to believe T-Rex was a scavenger was its extremely strong sense of smell. This enabled T-Rex to smell carcasses over long distances, giving it a big advantage as a scavenger. On the other side of the argument, T-Rex had very large serrated teeth, which would have been perfect for tearing through the tough skin of other dinosaurs. If T-Rex was a pure scavenger, it may not have required such teeth. Another interesting point about their teeth was that they were replaceable over time. Unlike humans, who grow only 2 sets in a lifetime, T-Rex's teeth could be replaced over and over throughout a lifetime. Again, this is evidence that they were, at least in part, likely predatory.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Awesome. And then in the paper-based exam, you actually have another 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. And the computer-based exam, you have about 4 minutes for checking. So you got a little bit of extra time, but not as much as in the paper-based exam because you put your answers directly in. However, the computer-based exam does have advantages for sure. And I think the listening is easier in the computer-based exam because of the format. You don't have to write as much. There's more dragging and dropping and clicking on the answer. All right. So let's answer these questions together now, everybody. Here we had a multiple choice answer. And the tip or the trick for this type of a question is you should take notes like T-Rex dies. Not does, dies. Dinosaurs die. Asteroid hits Earth. Okay, so you can kind of write those notes down. All right. Number 1, the dinosaurs become extinct. Then I know that, hey, okay. Check. Yeah. Tyrannosaurus Rex comes into existence. Nope. Tyrannosaurus Rex dies. Yeah, I mean, Tyrannosaurus Rex is a dinosaur, right? So logically. A large asteroid hits the Earth. Check. Okay, so 1, 3, and 4. No. Yeah, that looks good. So the answer is C. And a lot of you got that. Fuang, Rocky, Chayani. Joaquin, Masala, Farangiz, Nguyen. Chen, it's not 3, it's C. Havidan, Harriet, Sarah, very good job. Yeah, it was C. All right. Next one, number 32. A Tyrannosaurus Rex lived during which time? A, Jurassic. B, late Cretaceous. C, late Triassic. Well, they don't say this one, so that's no. Okay. The professor clearly explains that it's the late Cretaceous. It's B, because movies like to use the word Jurassic. It just sounds cool. Jurassic Park sounds so much cooler than late Cretaceous Park. Just imagine there's 2 parks. You can go to one or the other. You don't know anything about these parks. You just know their name. One park is called Jurassic Park. The other one's called late Cretaceous Park. Which one would you go to? Yeah, most kids especially, probably Jurassic Park. It just sounds cooler. But that's not when the dinosaurs really roamed the earth. So careful with movie information, right? B is the correct answer. Okay, so B. Yep, there we go. All right. Late Cretaceous. How tall? So they don't actually say tall. The speaker says big and then says height. So what was the height? Again, B. Yes, it was 6 meters. So T-Rex was 6 meters tall and 12 meters long, right? Very nice. Okay, number 34. The theory which explains why fossils are found in very different regions of the world is called, and it's 2 words. Careful when it's just one question like that and it says no more than 2 words, almost guarantee you that it's going to be 2 words. Okay? That's right, Masala. That Jurassic Park franchise has made a lot of money from that name. Yeah, exactly. All right, so number 34, continental drift. If you put small letters, that's okay too. All right, continental drift was the right answer. Capital letters okay because they're saying it's called continental drift. But if you wrote lowercase, that's okay as well because it is a common noun. Okay, now here it says write no more than 2 words. Okay, now it also says Tyrannosaurus Rex, predator or scavenger. Okay, that's giving us a lot of help. So number 35, extremely something arms. Very nice, Fong, Rajput, Rutu, Domenico, short arms. Yeah. Everybody loves doing the little short arm impersonation of T-Rex. If T-Rex were alive today, they'd be so angry at humans. We all make fun of it for its short little arms, even though T-Rex has been dead for 65 million years. We still make fun of its short little arms. I bet we wouldn't do that if one was standing in front of you. You're like, hey, big guy, what's up with the little claws? Huh? Oh, thank you. Ice cream. All right. So, yeah, tiny little arms. Arms are important for hunting. Sure. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. All right. So, if the arms are important for hunting and it had extremely short arms, then what's the answer for number 36? Harry Jott says scavenger. Yes. Scavenger. Absolutely. Right? You don't need arms to eat dead things. So scavenger is correct. Short arms, scavenger. If it had big arms, it could have like wrestled with the other dinosaurs, grabbed them and well, you know, but there's Godzilla. Godzilla kind of has little short arms too. What's up with that, right? Godzilla should have big arms, right? Godzilla kind of, I think it's supposed to be a T-Rex, like a giant T-Rex. Everybody loves Godzilla. All right, so next one here. Strong sense of smell. Something delicious and dead in the distance. Able to detect carcasses from long, distances, Rajput and others. Distance is countable. You can have multiple distances. Okay, especially on a map. Okay, there are multiple distances for the same destination, so you can count it. It's a tricky one. You need the S to get this correct, so it's a trickier one. Able to detect carcasses from long distances, it's a scavenger. Okay. Large serrated teeth, able to tear through tough something. 38, able to tear through, yes. Quan, yummy. It's a dead stegosaurus in the distance there. Or a dead pterodactyl. Okay, tough skin. Yes, tough skin. Those big teeth, right? Very good. Number 39, if the T-Rex is able to rip through the skin, it's probably why it didn't need the big arms, because it had the big head, right? T-Rex is like, you make fun of my little arms, but you forget about my big head, right? I don't need arms. I've got my giant head. It's a predator. Don't misspell words that are given. Okay. Be careful. So you have predator here. So make sure that you have the correct spelling there. Okay. All right. Number 40, last one, did not have to be careful with teeth. So just teeth flying out all over the place. Gets a punch, teeth flying out, no problem. What's going on? Doesn't need a dentist. There's no dentist dinosaurs. At least not for the T-Rex. Because the teeth are replaceable. That's right. Yes, they are. They're replaceable. So if you're planning to be a dinosaur dentist, look for another job. Replaceable, right? You only need the word replaceable because they're giving you the word teeth. All right? Replaceable. Replace with an E and then able. Okay, spelling's important. Yes, it is, Colbier. Okay, what did you get from 40, everybody? So a lot of you were in class last week because you're subscribers. So I'm guessing, you're with us regularly, which is a really good idea for IELTS study. So how did you do out of 40? What did you get? And here's the exciting part. We can actually check your score on our website for a band score. So we can jump over to aehelp.com. At the very, very bottom of the website that you can't see, there's a score calculator that you can click on. If you open that up, you see it there. And bada bing, bada bang, there is the score calculator. So Rocky says, I got 33. So Rocky, you got a 7.5. Patek, 31. You got a 7. Sarah, 35. You got an 8. KHTR, 32. You got a 7.5. So 31 is the cutoff, right, for that one. Domenico says, I got 38. You're going to get an 8.5. There you go. All right, very good. So if you're in the high 30s, great. You're doing fantastic. Okay, that's awesome. Score calculator, it's free. It's on the website. Check it out, students. On the website, you will find lots more practice exams, interactive courses. We're an official IELTS test registration center, British Council IDP partner, and you can join our premium IELTS package by clicking on this big red button right there. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access, and you can use it for all of these live classes. You can use it on your phone. You can study anywhere, and you can improve your English and your marks. It's worth the investment. Don't listen to me. Listen to all of our awesome students that are here telling you the same. Okay, so they will say, yep, that worked. All right, June says, I'm a dinosaur dentist. June, then that's why you're doing IELTS. To get another profession and study. Mind you, if you're working as an archaeologist, you're probably, you got an interesting job if you're looking for dinosaur teeth. That's it for today, students. But tomorrow I am back with lots more live IELTS. I will be doing speaking part 2 cue card and speaking part 3 classes. We will be interacting with students. We will be talking with each other, getting some band scores, getting tips, strategies, learning vocabulary. So come back tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Get good rest. Stay happy. Be you. Be yourself. I'm Adrian. Much love to all of you wherever you are in the world right now. I'm in Victoria and I'm signing out for today, but I will be back tomorrow. Bye, everyone.